Hello,
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Metagame.
we are here.
My name is Tennyson Stead. This is Federico Estevão. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Estevão.
Estevão?
Estevão.
Okay. So the beginning is really like you breeze past it. It's Estevão. Estevão. Did I get it?
Val.
It's like Stevens, but in Portuguese.
Okay.
Yes, like Steven, but in Portuguese. Estevão.
Estevão. Got it. And this is Ipiluni.
Okay.
And this is Metagame. Metagame is a tabletop role-playing session of Jump Rangers, the tabletop role-playing game, that we're running specifically with my fellow devs. And the basic concept of the show that you're about to see is that inevitably we're going to get distracted and bogged down in details of world building. And part of the fun is that this is an opportunity to bring that world building and the gameplay together. So there's going to be some actual gameplay, and at the same time, we're not necessarily counting on these sessions being super focused. We're expecting a lot of tangents, and that's part of the fun of what we're doing. Federico is the art director and currently the only concept designer working on Jump Rangers.
Are you streaming?
Yeah. Am I not
We are online, lady.
Am I not streaming is the question now that you have me concerned with. I think I am streaming. Looks here like I'm streaming. I think we're in good shape.
You're totally streaming.
Yes.
We are online. We are online, sir.
And Ipiluni is my beloved wife and also one of the voice actors that's ultimately going to be bringing life to the characters of Jump Rangers as we move past the tabletop role-playing and into
the audiobook narrator.
So, we had a session 0 last week. Unfortunately, we had some glitches. The audio wasn't good. It's not on the internet. There's a couple of basic rules and ethics that I want to cover about Jump Rangers right up front because I absolutely want them on the record. We're going to take a second to introduce the characters of Jump Rangers, and then we're going to dive right into the story for your entertainment. It's going to be a short week because we need to get Federico back to work or back to his family or whatever Federico's doing today. And
Saturday night.
Okay. and then we'll meet up next week and we'll like start expanding on the story. Okay, but just to touch base on what Jump Rangers is right up front. Jump Rangers is a universe about kid space commandos fighting for a place where humanity can thrive in an interstellar alien dinosaur empire. And the basic conceit of the world building is that right about when humanity was really starting to figure out our lives and figure out what was going on our planet, the Saurian horde descended from the skies in their massive motherships and their armies of undersoars. The Saurians, specifically the Rexors, are giant telepathic Tyrannosaurus Rexes with an army of lizard men working underneath them. They just brushed aside our whole civilization. And the only way for humanity to survive was by sneaking aboard their motherships and colonizing the sort of unkept corners and becoming the bedbugs or the rats of the universe. So, because we didn't have interstellar travel of our own and there was no place else for us to go. So while the grown-ups are living this very dire, desperate existence, the kids who are willing to take up the mantle of being a Jump Ranger are leading the way towards a future for humanity. They're out there exploring the galaxy, finding new places for humans to colonize. They're helping refugees make it from colony to colony. They're finding ways to sabotage the efforts of the aliens to exterminate us. And by the way, giant alien dinosaurs are not the only giant aliens out there causing problems. There's giant robots, there's giant bugs, there's all kinds of giant aliens. And we have kind of become the little critters living in the walls of this galaxy. So while the adults try and make that work, there's a special group of kids who are working really hard to give humanity a better future. That's what Jump Rangers are. Tabletop role-playing game is an opportunity for you in a tabletop environment to sit down with your friends and play the role of a Jump Ranger or tell a Jump Ranger story if you happen to be the storyteller. And through the magic of improv acting, have some fun. That's what this game's about. So,
Okay, I'm on my phone, so I am really tiny. So if I'm not in the screen, let me know, because I'm blind and can't tell.
okay, I will keep an eye on you, and I will let you know if anything goes wrong. Right now, you're brilliantly framed. It's all working perfectly. I love it. So, before we get to introducing the characters, there's just, and we've already sort of talked about this in our session 0, so this really is for the benefit of the audience. But let's cover some basics here. Code of conduct. So, we deal with complex issues in Jump Rangers, like war, imprisonment, crime, slavery, pollution, predators, disease, dangerous environments, all kinds of things. Everybody has their own safety boundaries when it comes to these kinds of subject matter, and we are respectful of those boundaries. So here's a couple basic guidelines to help maintain that respect in an improv environment where people are being creative. First of all, we do not allow abuse in Jump Rangers. We don't do or say anything that's intended to hurt other people. Sometimes, people will willingly hurt one another for the sake of comedy or in order to teach a lesson or make a point. We do not do that in Jump Rangers. It's not allowed. Abusers will be removed from the Jump Rangers community swiftly and permanently. Hate speech. Our community accepts and welcomes all people regardless of their skin color, race, gender identity, sexual preferences, abilities, neurodivergences, age, religion, spiritual beliefs, nationality, origins, or superpowers. We do not limit who is accepted in the Jump Rangers community, and it is not your right to limit who is accepted in the Jump Rangers community. If you feel as though I am violating your rights by not allowing you to limit who's accepted in the community, fantastic. Let's have that conversation. I'm ready for it. And yeah, don't do it. Silencing. Every person's voice and perspective matters. So when someone has first-hand experience with any of the other issues that we're dealing with, like abuse, we trust that person's judgment. Okay? If a woman says that something is sexist, we accept it. We believe her. If a person of color says that something is racist, we accept it. We believe them. If a person from the LGBT community says that something is homophobic or transphobic, thank you for telling us. We believe them. If a disabled person says something is ableist, we believe them and we accept it. Okay? We do not argue with those perspectives. We listen and we accept them. So, in order to help not everybody has the same level of experience with these basic concepts. So we've got a couple of basic practices that we can maintain in order to ensure that we don't slip up. Okay? So there's some basic tools that we have, because everyone's always saying, well, you can't step on people's toes and I just don't know how to live in this world. I'm going to solve that problem for you. First and foremost, agency. During a gameplay, a player always has the right to determine the actions of their hero. Under no circumstances will a storyteller take over the character or submit a hero to experiences over which they have no control. Keeping the heroes in control of their story helps keep them safe. Mind control is something we have in this game. The way you use mind control is by changing someone's perspectives. Okay, you can tell them what they're seeing and what they're hearing. You can try and lead them to make decisions that aren't in their best interest, but you cannot make those decisions for them. Consent. Before introducing new themes or plot elements to the game, always ask the heroes if those ideas are safe to explore and whether they have any questions or concerns. For example, right before we started, back when we had session 0, I asked Ipiluni and Federico if there were any concerns about me exploring issues of colonization, because we have a giant dinosaur empire and we're going to be talking about colonial subject matter, and this is something that people have a lot of trauma around. Not everybody's going to have the same level of trauma, and Ipiluni likes to joke about blowing up colonizers, so I figured we'd probably be okay.
I don't have a problem with Tyrannosaurus. Alien Tyrannosaurus.
All right. Perfect. Good to know. But it's important to discuss these things. If you're having a game of Jump Rangers, have that conversation. Talk about the ways in which those themes might hurt people's feelings. Make people aware of the risks that they're taking by playing the game so you can deal with those risks in an upfront manner. Okay? Don't hold things back for the sake of surprise. Trust your players. Timeout. For any reason or for no reason at all, a player or the storyteller can call for a timeout. Saying the words timeout or typing TO into the chat of a streaming game means that a timeout has been called. And once that happens, we stop. We find out why there's a timeout. We help. That's it. Simple, simple, simple. Listening. If a player says they feel uncomfortable, or if they appear to be feeling uncomfortable, let's just take a second and address it. Let's just ask. And if they say they are comfortable and they just look uncomfortable, great, fine, okay, but at least we checked. That's it. That's it. Early game, such as today. If someone needs or wants to stop a game session for any reason, okay. Not guilt, not shame. We do it, right? Postmortem. In postmortems are in show business something that we do after the end of a production, just to check in and see if there's anything we need to talk about. It can be quick, but we should do it. And lastly, a session 0. In any Jump Ranger story or opera, it's always a good idea to discuss these rules, to talk about the characters, find out what the players want from the game. And that's what we did last week. So now we're going to start playing Jump Rangers. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I just said?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Fantastic.
Let's put the setting on. Let's put the setting on.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, our Jump Rangers story begins on a war-torn planet called Link. Planet Link is called Planet Link because it is the only place in the known galaxy right now where human beings can get off a Saurian mothership, sneak off a Saurian mothership, and then sneak on board a Loom mothership. Loom are a race of energy beings that have made the extremely wise decision that I recommend for every energy being out there of living inside giant robots. So they live inside giant robots and inside their giant motherships, and they fly through the galaxy, and mostly they make war with the Saurians, and they strip mine planets. And the Saurians and the Loom have been at war on Link for almost, well, at least, I have the date back there, but I think it's about 50 years. The entire planet has been ripped apart. It's not 50 years, it's like 300 years. I'm wrong. It's about 300 years. The entire planet has been destroyed by this war. The atmosphere has been burned off. The ground has been melted many times over, and they're still at it. They're still fighting for the resources that are here. But
It's breathable. Air?
what's that?
It's breathable. Can you breathe there?
No. You need help breathing the atmosphere on Link. But every Jump Ranger has the ability to turn has a helmet that they can put on, has the ability to seal up their jumpsuit and turn it into an environment suit. So there is atmosphere, there is a little bit of pressure, but it's toxic. Because this is the link between Saurian space and Loom space, Planet Link is actually very heavily trafficked by humans. For a long time, people had a hard time living here because Undersor exterminators would find any colony that we built and just wipe it out. But about 50 years ago, maybe a little bit less, maybe 20 years ago or so, a commander by the name of Sudro Paksis, who used to be a Jump Ranger, actually, used to be in the Exo Corps, arrived on Planet Link and set out to help build a longer-lasting colony. And he's built a whole network of facilities into a system of tunnels deep under the ground. Spaceships actually fly into the caves themselves in order to dock with the space station. And the station has come to be known as Paksis Base. Paksis Base is one of the more successful human colonies, in no small part because it is the place where all information coming into Saurian space from Loom space has to move. If somebody has stolen Loom technology or anything of that nature, then there are actually scientists out there studying the Loom in Loom space. Anything that they find has to come. If it's coming back to the human colonies, and most of the human colonies are in Saurian space, it has to come through Planet Link. On top of that, okay. The other thing to know, the other thing to know about Planet Link is that observing the actual fighting between the Saurians and the Loom has taught humanity a whole lot about what's going on. So, Paksis Base is mostly populated by spies and analysts. most of the grown-ups here work in intelligence. And Commander Paksis himself is very much a spy master. But there's one other important thing to know about Paksis Base, which is that a couple years back, an aging ex-Jump Ranger, known to the Jump Rangers community as Uncle Slappy, built a little kitchenette and dormitory for visiting Jump Rangers. Because Paksis Base is such an important place in the colonies, Uncle Slappy wanted to make sure that any Jump Rangers that were passing through always had a fresh grilled cheese sandwich and a place to sleep and a place to congregate. And that place is called the Rangers Roost. And it's basically just a kitchen counter with a grill and some booths spread out, and then off to the side,
really strong coffee.
Really strong coffee. Jump Rangers are allowed to drink coffee. And they frequently do. And Uncle Slappy brews it nice and black. So off to the side, there's a small series of rooms with maybe 4 to 6 bunks apiece and a little table where Jump Rangers can hang out with their team and talk things over. Uncle Slappy's always happy to get up and make sandwiches for anybody who wants it at his little lunch counter. And he, talks to Rangers and collects information from Rangers, and he's pretty well regarded as one of the most trustworthy grown-ups in the colonies, and he's managed to let Commander Paksis run this place right under his nose and kind of have a place of privacy where Rangers can meet, talk about Ranger stuff, not have grown-up interference, and just have their own space. So anytime Rangers are passing through Paksis Base, anytime they're on a mothership that stops by on Planet Link, it's pretty common for them to want to stop by at the Rangers Roost, or the Rooster if you like, see who's there. And the interior is just like what you would expect. There's parts of it that look a little bit like a 1950s diner. There's little puffy couches and things, but for the most part, it's, very noisy ceiling fans and loud, air conditioning and darkened metal surfaces. There's grating on the floor. But Uncle Slappy is routinely checking to make sure that the spies at Paksis Base aren't trying to bug it. He's actually pretty careful. Mm-hmm.
There's something that I'm doubt. I heard there is a human space station around. Is that what I get or not?
It's not a space station. It's in a cave. It's deep in the caves under the planet's surface.
Okay. It's this base that you are talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So the way to get to and from Paksis Base actually is to get off a mothership and find a safe house, some little habitat that's maybe been stored in a side cave somewhere on the planet's surface, and wait for shuttles from Paksis Base, Hermes transports, to come by, check the safe houses, see if anybody's coming or going, pick them up, take them back. And that's true whether you're coming in through the Saurian spaceport or whether you're taking a loom ship into this particular area. And there's other ways to get to and from Planet Link as well, which we'll talk about later. But so they'll come, they'll pick you up, they'll fly you into the cave system and land in the hangar bay. Deep in the caves, there's a massive hangar with big doors. The Saurians have not found it yet. And anytime Saurians start really aggressively looking for it, usually Jump Rangers will mount a mission to try and sell the Undersoar exterminators on some decoy base. Let them blow something else up. We call that move the Replace a Base. And in fact, there is a mission in the data deck files for subscribers at the Patreon, which is listed right over there, down there. Anyway, so that's
so we live there. Which characters live there, or are just passing by?
You're just passing by. And you're sitting there in the Rangers Roost, in a little booth. Now, you two have been traveling together for, let's say, about 6 months. All right. Both of you met up on a mission on planet Armageddon. Planet Armageddon is a human colony that's being evacuated because the planet is exploding, because a giant space monster is eating its way through the planet's core, and it's all volcanic and destabilizing, and used to be a beautiful jungle planet. But what the humans are trying to do is to save as many of those animals as they can, move them into a space ark. So you guys were helping to gather animals, and you became friends. And you've been working together, and now you're working your way back into human space, and you've stopped by Paksis Space for some coffee and sandwiches, and to find out what's happening with Uncle Slappy, find out if there's any other Rangers around. Why don't you introduce your characters a little bit at this point? Who is Sneakers, Federico?
Well, Sneakers is a regular Jump Ranger. He's orphan and grow up on many bases around until he was uh, found by the other Jump Rangers that took care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like he kind of is very rebel in some situations. He has some kind of street kid way of being, and he excels at sneaking around that's why his nickname at being around all the alien ships and around his own society. So, well, he's brave, of course, and has is very capable physically for a boy of 12 years. He likes to climb up and well run and well. Uh, it's very dynamic in this sense, in a physical sense, and very curious too.
Okay.
So that's it.
Federico, would you listen to your audio one more time? Just give me a quick audio check. I just spotted an issue that I think may have been making my voice a little tinny, but I think it's probably better. Can you hear me? Testing 1 2 on the stream. Am I coming through?
Okay. On the stream?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Testing 1 2.
I'm not on the stream.
That's fine. Federico is. Can you hear my voice? Testing.
I can hear.
Okay, great. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much. So, back to the game. Ipiluni.
Yes.
Your character is named Clyde. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about Clyde?
Her name's Clyde. I don't remember anything that we did.
Okay.
I'm 8, I think. I think I'm 8.
I actually have the character sheet, but I only grabbed half of it, so hang on 1 sec.
I remember she's an 8 years.
Yeah, I think she's 8.
Exo Ranger.
Clyde,
Ranger.
A Xeno.
Yep.
A Xeno Ranger.
So an expert on spying on aliens.
Kind of she's obsessed with like learning about other, like just learning about aliens, and like she
knows a lot about the Saurian horde, and we know that she's quick and she's sassy. She's quick because she's 8, and that's how 8-year-olds are. Then she's sassy because that's how you described her.
Yeah, she don't take nothing from nobody. She's tough.
Is there anything else that you want to let us know about Clyde right now, or not just yet?
Not yet.
Okay. All right.
I'll let you know when I figure it out.
Okay. So that's the story with the Rangers Roost. The two of you are sitting, enjoying some grilled cheese sandwiches. You've socialized with Uncle Slappy just a little bit. He's given you the latest news from the colonies. And the important thing to understand about the Rangers Roost is that while adults aren't necessarily allowed to hang out there, they do come in to ask for help. And it's not abnormal to see, if you ever see an adult in the Rangers Roost, you know that there's something wrong, and you know that they're there to find a Jump Ranger who can help them with their problem. Now, the two of you are particularly tired. You're probably pretty ready for bed. So it's a little surprising when Commander Sudro Paksis himself, the
Ooh,
commander of
big wig.
yep, the very man that Paksis Base was named after, steps up to your table and says, "Do you mind if I sit with you for a moment?"
Whoa. I say, sir.
Well, it seems you
I
know.
I look to Clyde and think, what might he by wanting with us? The commander talking
Like,
to.
I'm totally side eyeing Sneakers. Like, what?
You may not know this about me, but I used to be a Xeno Ranger myself. My brother was in the Fight Corps. They called me Ferret, and he was Fox, and the two of us have been looking for a way to beat the Saurians since we were your age.
That's a very good name.
They are big names in the Rangers. People know them. If we can find a weakness, then maybe that's the advantage that winds up saving Earth. That's what we're thinking. And he reaches into his, his hip pack. He's got pockets on his calves, like any good man in cargo pants would have, and pulls out a data deck and puts it on the counter. This is everything our spies have collected on the Saurians in the last 6 months. My brother, General Arden Paksis, is on planet Battleground. I'm asking you to take this information to him. Scientists and engineers on Battleground develop new weapons and tactics based on data we provide here on Planet Link. And this is what we've got. Every 6 months, there's a Saurian mothership. It's called the Mothership Menacing that makes the trip from Link to Battleground. She just touched down 6 hours ago, which means you should have about 3 days before she leaves. I'm not promising this data deck has the answers we need, but every piece of intel could be the one puzzle piece that changes everything and saves us all. I need your help, Rangers. Can I count on you?
Yeah. Yeah. This sounds very risky mission
Well,
and very important too.
thank you for saying so. The hope is that it's in and out. The hope is that you infiltrate the Mothership Menacing and that it's no different than any other jump. You make your way to Planet Battleground.
Hope.
You go find Paksis
Hope.
Base. Yes,
The hope.
that's right. That's right.
Okay.
I've, as I said, I've been a Jump Ranger myself. I know it's dangerous business. And
We are right now, as you might know, on our own mission. We are in need to find a safe place for as many lives we can save on animal plant and samples from planet
you are right now, Federico.
guys.
You've done your duty to Planet Armageddon. You guys are making your way back into the colonies in search of adventure.
Oh, this is stop.
Yeah. So your dance card is empty if you want to take this mission. If you want to help Commander Paksis out, you are free to do so.
Well, so let's go take this.
I'm game.
Excellent.
I've always wanted to go to. I forgot the name of the planet, but I want to go there anyway.
So Planet Battleground is...
Yeah, that one.
Yep. The reason it's called Planet Battleground is because it's the one place in human space where we're winning. General Arden Paksis has been waging a frontline war against a Saurian colony out of a mountain that he's been hollowing out and mining out and building factories in. And he's maintaining a front line. He's learning about combat against the Saurians. Now, it's important to note that it's just a small mining colony. What they have on Planet Battleground is not what they have on their homeworld of Soros, or even here on Planet Link. Here they have the weapons and the resources to fight the Loom. They're just trying to protect a mining colony. It's not a big deal, but it's a big deal for humans. It's the first promise of victory that we have ever had. And it's true that Arden Paksis and Sudro Paksis are brothers. So he's asking you to bring some information to his brother to help him develop the weapons and develop the tools that are going to win that fight, and maybe create the first human world outside the Earth, and since the invasion of Earth. Now the question remains:
That would be awesome.
The question is how do we maintain contact with that world if the Saurians leave? That's an important question to ask. And it's not clear to the degree that General Paksis has an answer to that question just yet. But the fact remains that he has been pushing back against the Saurians successfully. And that's important too. It's never been done before. So that is where this information is going. That's why it's important. And that's what Commander Sudro Paksis is asking you to do.
And what about this ship, the
menacing?
We are the menacer.
Up until
he transports, what he does, what's the mission of this ship? Do I know? Can I make a roll so I have some vague idea what it does?
Absolutely, you can. So it's going to be a mind roll because you're accessing your memory. So how many dice do you have in mind?
4.
I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and do this roll on my side just so we can show everybody how it actually works. Is that all right? Do you mind if I roll for you? So he's going to take 4 dice. I'm going to roll my pink dice. They might scare you a little bit because they have black on them, and I promise you they're very lucky. What do you say about these bad boys? You like it? Of course you like it.
Yeah.
Federico.
I think I have a specialization on
those are hard to see.
On their ship, on walking on Siren ships.
Okay, great.
Fantastic. Yeah, you have like Saurian ship knowledge, right?
So let's run. This is how the roll works. So he's going to take 4 dice. These are the 4 dice, right? And these 4 dice are because he has 4 dice in body. Okay. Now we need to find out. We roll low. We roll the target number or under in Jump Rangers. Mm-hmm. So you have. So every Jump Ranger has a target of 1 all the time because everybody has basic training, and basic training covers all the basics. So basic training, target of 1. What other skills or virtues do you have that would be useful here?
Okay, that's it.
That's not it. You said you have Saurian Horde, right? You have Saurian Horde.
Yes.
What else you could?
Combat, navigation, stealth, improvising. No, I just have basic training. I don't have specialization. I thought I had it, but I think
I thought you had ships.
Yeah, so ships.
I thought you had ships.
Okay, so you have basic training.
Didn't he have ships?
I'm not looking at his character sheet. Federico. Do you have Saurian starships on your?
Yeah, as I had Saurian starship and basic training.
Okay, so that's 2. So what we're looking for is on this roll, this number or under, right? 2 or under. There's a 1 and there's a 2, right? So 2 right there. So that's a victory. We call that a victory. And this 1 is a victory. But
are you showing the table?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm not. I meant to. But I didn't click the thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm.
Is that the Mothership Menacing has been bringing supplies back and forth to the basically bringing mining supplies from planet Battleground here to power the war effort.
Is there a way to like hack my brain or whatever for like, I think he's lying or not telling us the whole truth?
Okay. All
like,
right.
To like stare him down and be like, are you telling me?
Okay. So
you know what I mean? I'm sassy. I don't care.
Okay. So
I'll get in his face. Like, what aren't you telling us?
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and transition back over.
A little bit. Okay.
Wow. She has a PhD on the mission.
I have a PhD in sass.
No, now you're gonna have to tell everything. Spoilers ahead, people.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Sounds like it's on fire. Oh, I see. It's charcoal. Put your camera back.
There we go. So that's the deal with Planet Cinder, and the thing about it is that this particular house doesn't always have their act together. They're not always on time. They're really trying to impress the major houses, but their schedule isn't always as reliable as they would like it to be. And a big part of that is often because when they bring stuff around, they don't have priority access to anything. So if they're trying to unload their ship, you know what I mean? They can either do it themselves or they can try and buy help, but they're not going to get the same help that the ship from major house is going to get. If they're trying to sell things to a factory and get them processed, or if they're trying to pay a factory to process their goods, they're not going to get the same access. So this particular mothership doesn't have the same kind of like reliable scheduling.
Okay.
It's a little bit.
But so that's my knowledge on this ship. But
that's the mothership menacing.
Right, but I was asking about Paksis and if he was telling us the whole story.
You don't have any reason to doubt that the data deck has what he says it has.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Another question.
Yes. There's something about it. It seems like he's not telling you the whole truth. It does seem like he's not telling you the whole truth. But you're not sure.
I gotta let Lou out.
Okay. All right. What's your question, Federico?
And how is transmitted this information?
It's on a data pad. It's on a data deck. So it's in a mini computer.
Okay, so the same data pad that I usually use can be the same.
Yep, he's just going to hand you a data pad and ask you to deliver it to his brother.
Okay.
So it's a physical object with information stored on it. We, as humans, at this time, do not have the ability to transmit information. That is Luna. Hi, Luna. Luna's a good girl. That's what
we will have one of those aboard the ship.
There are pets.
Talking once. Talking once.
Oh. I have a ferret.
Oh, you have a ferret. Is that right? Do you? Did we give Clyde?
I'm supposed to have a ferret.
You have a pet. You have a flying squirrel.
A flying squirrel. That's right. That's right. Oh. I knew I had a pet though.
But it's like a little alien flying squirrel. Right?
Oh. Is he blue? Can he be blue? I want him to be blue.
Yes.
From that planet.
Absolutely.
Of the last mission.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. You can have a flying squirrel from Planet Armageddon. Absolutely. A little blue flying squirrel. For sure. Absolutely.
Cool.
So there does seem like there's something about the way Paksis talks about his brother that says that there's something being unsaid there. You're not sure what it is, but you don't have.
She's attacking me.
Lou's attacking you?
Yes.
Luna,
sit. She never does this.
Is it this? Is it that attack? Good girl. All right.
She's just coming up and like hitting my hand and then like running away and then coming back and doing it again. She doesn't do stuff like this. It's funny.
She likes the heat. It's very hot here in Los Angeles, and Luna really enjoys that.
And she's in her element.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
So, okay, no, so I think we agree. We have a mission to do, and it's important.
But
so
they said 3 days. What? How does he know 3 days? Like, we should make sure.
Because it typically takes about 3 days for the mothership menacing to unload what it's carrying.
Okay.
So that's what he says. He says, on average, it's not going to take less than 3 days for them to dump their load. They got here 6 hours ago. There's no way they're going to be here less than 3 days. It would be very surprising.
So we should go get ready to go, like get all our supplies.
Yep. Absolutely.
Where do we get supplies at?
Good.
I snoop around the base and try to figure out very stealthily, streetwisely, about how it's going on this part of the information that we are taking out. What people try to have a hint about it, and try to do a little expedition on the port, on the Sarion port that is departing, just to have a better watching over how they are proceeding this time.
Okay, so this is probably going to be a pretty good place to leave it. First of all, are you trying to sneak around the base and find out what's on the data deck? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, the information is already on the data deck. I just would like to find other rangers around, ask for them which are there for more time maybe than me.
Right now you guys are the only rangers at Paksis base. Right now you're the only rangers at the Rangers Roost. It doesn't always happen that way, but in this particular case, you guys are that's why the commander's talking to you. You're the only game in town right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no other rangers to talk to. And as far as scoping out the Saurian port, it's called Blister City because Saurian architecture, as we've discussed, is basically like you stick a straw into a tar pit and just make a pile of bubbles and then stick a bunch of antennas and things in it. It's called Blister City because it looks like a blister on the planet's surface. And
because humans are so creative in their naming.
The naming in this game is very, very literal. But let's be honest, largely it's Jump Rangers that are out there discovering things and figuring out, what's what. So it's Jump Rangers that are to come back and be like, this is what I saw and this is what I'm calling it. And a lot of the names were invented by Jump Rangers.
I would like to have this sweep a little bit further.
Okay.
And
so
make another roll to have a bonus on entering the ship.
Okay, absolutely. So here's how that works. Typically, so first of all, the way that you get out of Paksis space is the same way that you get in. So you're going to go find someone to shuttle you to one of the safe houses. You see what I'm saying? So you two board a rickety, old, aging, beaten up Hermes transport. You strap in. The pilot takes you out the cave system and low flies out over the rough and blasted gray rocky terrain of Planet Link until eventually they pick up the safe house they're taking you to, one of the ones closer to Blister City, on their scanners. They fly into the cave, and on stilts there's just a little prefabricated habitat, like one room with 2 bunks and some plumbing, some water, some food, rations for anybody who happens to be staying there. And there is nobody staying there, so the two of you, get out of the Hermes transport. You make your way towards Blister City from the bunk until eventually you reach a lookout. Now,
I draw my sneakers like those on the wall.
Oh, okay.
Of course, of this last bunker.
You
sneakers been here.
Okay. You put some graffiti on the wall.
On the yeah, exactly.
Very good. Very good.
I'll just add and Clyde.
Yeah. Sneaker and Clyde being here. Put the date.
Very good.
And
I can tell you the year, actually, if you give me 1 sec. I do know the year. I just need to look it up real quick. I believe it's...
Doesn't matter. It's just a mark.
Okay. All right.
He's got to leave his mark everywhere.
This on that kitchen space too, of course.
Okay.
On the table.
Oh yeah, you leave it at
table.
At the Rangers
on Slappy's table.
Yep.
I don't think Slappy's gonna like that.
Well, you know what, Ranger pride is something that Slappy can get behind. Ranger likes being there for Jump Rangers. So the year is 2352 right now. So, making your way across the hostile terrain with your jumpsuits all sealed up, you eventually make your way to a rocky ledge, and there's a crater down below you, and you can see off in the distance Blister City, which is kind of a rising mound of as we said, bubbles, but also antennas and emplacements and catwalks and all kinds of things around, all kinds of infrastructure built around it. And down below you, and off to the sides, you can see what are called air cans. Basically, the air inside Saurian cities is so bad that Rexors don't like to breathe it, and they will pump air in from outside the city through massive underground tunnels in order to clean out the air of the motherships when they land, because it gets very stinky when you have a bunch of dinosaurs living in a hot space together for several months in space. They don't like the smell, so they bring in whatever clean air they can get, they filter it, they process it, they pump it into the motherships. And as I said, the air here is toxic, but it does get filtered, it does get processed. So most Saurian cities have established huge turbines built into the ground that suck air down and in towards the city through these massive underground tunnels. And then you have to sneak your way through the processing plant along the way. And those tunnels are guarded by exterminators because this is a very common place for Jump Rangers to penetrate. Now, it's not the only way to get into a mothership, but it is typically the easiest. And there's 2 squads of exterminators stationed. There's a lookout undersoar guard on a watchtower high above this massive turbine, which is just a huge jet engine built into the ground with a bubble rising up around it. Mm-hmm.
How many days we are from the departing day?
About 2 days. About.
So this is still the first day.
This is still the first day. Yes, you're in the first day. You've got some time, but not a ton of it. And you're standing there, and what you want to do first is you want to go ahead. So we'll wait until the next session for you to make your roll to kind of look out and see about getting into this air can. But this little facility, which is basically this one bubble with this huge turbine inset into it, with the watchtower and everything else, and the two of you perched on this lookout point. You've got multi-goggles too, I think, Ipiluni. Don't forget that. No, you've got gliding gear and your knife. No, you had multi-goggles, didn't you?
The gliding gear is so I can climb the walls.
Right. The wind is too strong on these tunnels.
It's very strong. But you can make it down there. And the wind is going to be pushing you. Yeah?
I think we should tie with a rope, just a basic training technique for not because Ipiluni has 8 years. I'm not that heavy too. I'm only 12.
Okay, makes sense. But we need to get you. You've got a hard out at 2:30, my friend, and the time is now 2:26. So I think this is where we stop our adventure for the day. We're going to have to pick this up on the next session.
That's okay. we just finished with a first view of this tunnel, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Some minutes just to take inside the tunnels.
Oh, I see. Oh, you want to get into the tunnel before you stop. Okay, well that's good. All right. So you have from up here. Are you saying you want to keep playing for a little bit? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Clyde.
What?
This tunnel is full of lizards. As I recall, they already know we are. They might presume we are coming. You have to make a wave to drive them out of here.
The who?
Well, you can see from here.
Those lizards.
You can see that
those lizards.
You can see that there's a squad of 8 undersoar exterminators actually patrolling the outside. You can see from here they're patrolling the outside of the air can. There's also a guard.
Those are just, if I remember, the undersoars are about the size of like the Rock.
Yeah, they're like the size of a big professor. They're John Cena. with a big.
We have 0 chance against them, but they are stupid. We can't do something to distract them. We have to figure out what we will do.
And they are very heavily armed. Exterminators carry disruptor pistols, and disruptor pistols just explode things. So you don't want to be on the receiving end of an extermination.
So we need to like snap over here so that they can like go over there, and then we walk in.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Your friend there's maybe he can do something for us in this sense.
Oh.
But
maybe
her pet can live in this toxic waste.
Oh, I think your pet's probably inside your suit right here at this exact second.
Because of the
you can use
air,
him
right?
as a familiar or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. So your squirrel's probably curled up inside your helmet behind your head just to make sure you don't smush it with your jumpsuit by accident.
Right.
So you've got the squirrel inside your head, inside your helmet.
Inside my head.
Yeah.
I have lots of squirrels inside my head.
I was going to say, that's how it is in real life. That's very familiar territory for us.
So how do we get in? Can I climb up and over?
I think I figure out.
And the fan is also moving really fast. Now, if the fan shuts down, someone's going to have to fix it. But if the fan just stops for a minute or two and starts again, that's not a problem. You see what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily want the fan to be broken, because that'll bring more undersoars, technicians, and So the fan's
So
moving.
we just
right
want
now.
to pause it.
I think there's something. No, I think
don't you
it
have
might
like
be something
EMP
out.
something like a EMP?
Actually, I think you do have a Don't you have a? Didn't you take an EMP projector, Federico? I believe that you did.
Yes, I have, but it with no use against 8 soldiers,
No,
even
but you can
without
use
their.
it to shut the
But
fan
it'll
down
stop the fan.
in the turbine, so you can get
It'll
into the
pause
tunnel.
the fan.
Yeah,
No, we don't want to use it on the.
that might be
sword.
an idea, but I was thinking about something less
Are there any vehicles
less
around?
No,
less risky.
no vehicles
Is there
right now.
any vehicles? Okay, so we can't just start a vehicle and make it run off on its own.
Nope.
How do we
maybe
get in?
maybe in the base have some kind of lumen emitter or something like this, something that was rescued from a lumen rack or something like this on the base.
Well, this is part of the infrastructure of Blister City. So you're pretty close to the spaceport. You're pretty close to the center of military operations for the Saurian Horde. So there's not going to be like any wreckage around here is going to get cleared up by Undersource so that they can study it. It's going to get taken back into the city. So there's nothing like that around here right now.
Okay.
You're going to have to find some other way of distracting the.
Is there any mountain around with rocks?
There's hills. There's hills in every direction. Like this air can is in the middle of a crater. So there's a ledge all the way around.
Well, we still have 1 day and a half, so I may snoop around and see if there any rock that could roll nearby, so that can distract it. We would like to see what's happening.
All right.
Increase our chance.
Let's go ahead.
I thinking about provoking a sliding nearby, so they get distracted and scared and not knowing what is going on, because might be natural, might be an attack, everything, and they go scramble to see what's going on, and this time is the right time to go inside without uh, uh, leaving bringing suspicion. Yeah, I'm tricky. This is
You're
a
sneaky. Use your sneakers.
no, I'm tricky. Yes, I'm sneaky. My name is Sneakers, but as virtue I have sneaky, tricky. I like
Tricky.
to tricky. I like to
Transition over here. So we've got tricky. We've got basic training.
uh-huh.
This is improvising for sure.
Yes, it's improvising. Right.
So
You're right.
that's 3. What else do you have?
But that
He's got like stealth too, right?
yes, I have stealth too.
I don't think this. Well, no, stealth is important here. So that's
No,
4.
it's not stealth because it's planning, but
Yeah.
stealth is for entering the after all this we have to we got to do a stealth roll, something like this. What I want is giving absolute bonus on this roll,
Yep.
the single roll, so we can enter without problems.
Yep. All right. So those 3 things is what you have for this roll.
The 3 rows? No.
Yes,
it's a combo plan, but the first row is just to see.
I understand. No, I'm asking. Do you have any other virtues or training that can help you find the rocks that you're looking for? That's my question.
Rocks.
He's looking.
Why are we looking for rocks?
Did
I miss something?
He wants to start a landslide.
Clyde.
Oh, that's smart.
He's asking Clyde, does Clyde have any tools to help?
Do I have any tools to help?
You're quick, you're
Why
sassy.
don't we use their grapple guns? And pull.
Because that puts you in front of this. That makes you in front of. You don't
makes us in danger.
Yeah.
I can climb. I got Clyde gear.
That'll help you in a second. I think that's the next thing. So let me look up rules of the game, because what we're talking about here is what you can use rolls to prepare for an action. When you do that, you can add bonuses to the next action, and it's called what's it called? Not contested. Critical success. So sometimes a ranger will wind up with more victories than they need. Occasionally, a ranger's virtues and training. When you have more than, it means good things for your character. Obviously, more victories means you need complete. Okay, so every victory you get automatic victory the next roll. Okay, so finding the rocks that you're looking for is not that hard. We're going to say it's difficulty 2. We have 4 dice here. Target number 3. We got 1.
You're not showing it.
Well, why don't I show it? I'll roll it again.
Tricky. What a bonus.
Oh no. Oh.
And my tricky bonus.
Good.
One success, but I had one
success. So we're going to make a lot of noise and they're going to know we're there. Okay, roll in the mud so we can blend in.
Oh, the 8s. Okay, I forgot the 8s. What happens? What the... Okay. Yes. No, super. Cliffhanger. Toasted cliffhanger. I'm
totally
toasted.
A cliffhanger. We're on the cliff.
On the nest, we see a kid being toasted by particular beans and
I completely keep forgetting to switch the transitions. I'm going to get better at this, folks. This is the first time that I've had to deal with OBS on this deep, intricate level. So we will come back. Next week with more metagame. Thank you very much for watching.
That's fine. Cha 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 cha.
What? Oh, I've never. Is that music, or was that something that people say?
It's a Beethoven.
Okay. Dun 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 dun. I see. Got it. Okay. Thank you, Federico, for joining us. We'll return next week, and we are going to have guest stars on metagame. We're going to have our composer Dan Hegarty come and go. We're going to have our producer Lucinda Bruce come and go. There's going to be other people involved. This is just the beginning, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tune in. So 1:30 on Saturday Pacific time is when we do this.
That's perfect.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, Federico and Ipiluni. And we will.
Bye, Ipiluni. Bye, Tenny.